The brain, if you will, is something that we need to really thinking about. How can we improve the health of the brain?
Well, one of the most important ththings that we do in the clinic is we test genetics. We want to know if that ApoE4 is there, that is going to be a predisposition to Alzheimer's disease or dementia.
Wait a minute. Was that a
What's happening
snore?
here?
Was that a nasal problem?
One of the skin cells that's very important for the production of collagen is the fibroblast, and
Yeah.
it's thought that this red light therapy may actually stimulate the regeneration of the fibroblasts, which aid the production of collagen in the skin.
One of the greatest concerns we have in life these days is not necessarily losing our health, but it's losing our mind. I want to make sure that my brain works well so that I can remember your name and I can remember my wife's name and I can remember what I'm supposed to be doing every day. Mind, the brain, if you will, is something that we need to really thinking about. How can we improve the health of the brain? There's some key things that we need to understand, some key things that we can do. And obviously, I have one person who's a brainiac here to help me out, Dr. Michelle. So let's talk a little bit about this thing called brain health.
Well, one of the most important things that we do in the clinic is we test genetics. We want to know if that ApoE4 is there, that is going to be a predisposition to Alzheimer's disease or dementia. And then, of course, once we understand that, whether it's there or whether it's not, we still want to optimize brain health. And those individuals need very high doses of omega-3s, especially that thing called DHA, docosahexaenoic acid.
What? Say what? Now that's going to freak people out. They're going to think, I'm not going to put acid in my body. So talk about that.
Omega-3s are simply essential fatty acids that your body doesn't make. It has to come from the outside. We've got to get it either from our food sources like oily fish, being salmon and tuna and mackerel, or otherwise we've got to supplement it. People call it fish oil, but it's really not fish oil. It's the essential omega-3s that are packaged in caplets that you take every day.
If I had to put one brain food in my body, it would be these essential fatty acids, essential omega-3s. And I had this discussion as recently as today. We have it every day. Folks, we have checked the omega index on thousands of people around this country for the last 15 years. 100% have been deficient in omega-3 fatty acids. Therefore, they've been deficient in a key brain food. You can't get enough omega-3 fatty acids from eating fish like we think we can. We have to supplement with omega-3s. They're just not available in our environment anymore. So supplementation is key. So when we talk about supplementation specifically, do you have some recommendations for people?
Well, absolutely. It's not just the ApoE4 gene that can affect that brain health. It's also whether or not a person methylates appropriately. We've all heard about that gene called MTHFR, and people think, well, I've got MTHFR disease. Well, not really. That gene just might be running a little slow and needing some extra assistance. And that assistance is broad-based methylated B vitamin support. That's going to be B1, B2, B3, B5, B7, B9, B12. And of course, those essentials, you want to have them in the methylated form, methylcobalamin and methylfolate.
So when you talk about genetics as a whole, this is a panel that we run really on everybody. You need to understand your genetics because when you look at the genes as they sort of promote function in the body, that's an important component. And then putting in the right nutrients behind that because nutrients support genetic function and make it work better. So understanding both is important. And I know that for me and for you, I will take 3 grams 3 grams, and that's 3,000 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acid every day. Frankly, every person in the world that I've met, especially in this country we call the United States of America, I guess I should say used to be the United States. Let's call it now the States of America, right? But the
Yes.
bottom line is we need 3 grams. And I like personally, we have several, but I like BioOmega 1000. So this is one that I use. It's 3 grams, 3 gel caps. They're kind of big, but all at once in the morning, every day. If you're 12 years and over, I don't care what anybody said to you. You need these. You need them. And then secondly, if some people say, well, I can't swallow gel caps, I have used a flavorful one. And personally, I like mango peach. It works well.
It's
So
delicious.
we have that as well. So, people, 2 tablespoons of that or 3 gel caps of omega-3s. And you cannot get this stuff by going down to your neighborhood grocery store or neighborhood pharmacy. You're going to get junk. And if you go get through the pharmaceutical brand of it, like Lavazza, that is a very poor form, quite frankly. It's not the right form. It has an ethyl ester backbone, and
Right.
it's hard to digest. So again, no wonder people are deficient of omega-3s. It ties to like brain health, obviously cell health, and inflammation, right?
Yeah, and what about a source of that broad-based B vitamin we were talking
Oh
about?
my gosh, I like B vitamins as a general rule. Now, when I look at B vitamins, I like one called B Supreme, but there's a bunch of them out there, but you got to get the right form. If you don't get the right form of B vitamins, it becomes a problem. So if people are out there now and you're taking something of a B12 and it says cyanocobalamin, CYANO, and then cobalamin, you've got the poorest form of all that doesn't really break down very well. I mean, it'll get there maybe, possibly in some people, but not in everybody. So you got to change the form of the B vitamins, and those will help brain health as well.
So really understanding genetics can help you understand nutrients that you specifically need to optimize your brain health.
Yeah, there's no question. So I want my brain to work. The reason that we probably remember the things that we remember today is because we work on brain health. You can do the same thing. Know your genetics, know what to do, and know why you do it. You don't want to lose your mind because that's even worse than losing your health. Hopefully this encouraged you, inspired you, and gave you some great information.
We're going to talk about healthy ways to minimize snoring.
Wow, that's a loaded question. Let's stop all snoring. Stay with us next.
There's a lot of talk these days about human enhancement.
Terms like biohacking, bioharmonizing, biosynergizing, stacking, resilience, and anti-fragility.
In our clinic, the Functional Medical Institute, we've been helping people of all shapes, sizes, and backgrounds improve their quality of their physiology and maximize their lives.
So, you can follow the latest fads and gimmicks and maybe find some things that work for you.
Or you can add Kingdom Fuel to your daily regimen right now.
It's the simple start to a transformed life.
Our unique meal shakes are balanced, low glycemic, rich in fiber with 20 grams of clean protein, essential vitamins and minerals, healthy fats, and organic fruits and vegetables. Kingdom Fuel is vegan with a complete amino acid profile.
No gimmicks, just proven results.
Start today at sherwood.tv/fuel.
I know you are God. I can't believe I trusted you.
I'm Michelle. I'd love to work here.
Do you have what it takes to be a champion?
Yes, Master, I do.
We need to get you more competition.
And
Nationals?
finally, the Olympic team selection tournament.
Did somebody try to hurt you again?
But I don't think anyone will ever believe me.
She's working on being a homeless Olympic champion, and now she has somebody footing the bill for college so she can become a doctor.
We have to pray on the list so that in all of God's glory, each item on the list will come to a fruitful and gratifying beginning.
I don't know about you,
but I have to have that cup of coffee in the morning. And Kingdom Cup is mold-free, it is pesticide-free, and it is organic. It's got this flavor that is delicious. You don't even have to put cream or sweetener in it.
And it's Kingdom Cup with a K,
K.
right? So this is important. 50% of all coffee at least contains mold. And this is a key thing. That's in bean form, right? So you're going to be a little grinder. They're just a few bucks. Grind it up, put it in your maker, and make it. Why did we go with the bean form, the whole bean? Because ultimately the powder form is the one that gathers the most moisture. And that means the more potential mold development. So this is actually organic, mold-free, certified. It's got a little certificate with it. That's important because ultimately people drink coffee. It's cultural. And so we tried to meet the culture where it is and create a healthy alternative. Wait a minute. Was that
What's
a snore?
happening here?
Was that a nasal problem? I don't know, but it was obnoxious. I just did that off the cuff right there. See, this can keep people awake. It can also take away your health. What are we talking about? We're talking about snoring. Do you snore? Have you been told you snore? Have you had a blood test that indicated you snore? Are you sleeping in one of those Darth Vader masks called a CPAP that... you get the idea. I'm just trying to be funny. Snoring's a big deal, isn't it?
Snoring is a big deal, and there are degrees of snoring. The light little puppy snores might not actually lead to chronic health conditions, but loud, perpetual snoring, severe snoring, can actually lead to a condition called sleep apnea. And sleep apnea can lead to high blood pressure. It can also lead to what's called a dilated cardiomyopathy, which simply put means dysfunction or degeneration of heart function. So we want to talk today about a few ways that we can help snoring become minimal, if not extinct.
Well, we've seen it go away. Let me start right there. I've seen people that were perpetual snorers and had husband or wife complaining on them. And the first place we go is diet lifestyle, which perpetuates good body composition, because it just makes sense. You know, if you accumulate a bunch of extra fat up in this area here, it's going to constrict. I mean, that just makes perfect sense. And also another thing people should be aware of, big football players with big, strong, muscular necks typically snore. I remember when I was in college, the floor that had the athletes, you could actually hear people snoring in the hallway. I'm not kidding at all. It was crazy. You know, I'm thinking, good night. But this is the first way to fix it, to get the body composition minimized from excess fat tissue that accumulates, and that does help with snoring.
Well, even like individuals that are very muscular and have a large neck circumference, oftentimes they can be predisposed to snoring. So sometimes it's about the neck circumference. The other thing can be just simply the position of the head in bed. So if your head is falling backwards, that soft palate, you can literally feel the soft palate as you take your tongue across the roof of your mouth. It becomes a very soft area. That soft palate can fall backwards and obstruct the airway and cause this vibration in the throat. So oftentimes turning on your side and propping yourself with pillows on your side, if your side is uncomfortable to sleep with, finding a comfortable position that is away from sleeping on your back can also help.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of people go to those positive airway pressures, the CPAP machine, and have good success. I mean, it's sort of forcing a little bit of normal blood flow or normal airflow through there, which is fine. You know, it's not kidding. You do look like Darth Vader, but nonetheless, it's actually a good way to sort of deal with it. But my question is always, did that fix the original cause of the problem, and many times it doesn't, because a lot of people have additional problems with the CPAP. They get claustrophobic, they'll tear it off in the middle of the night, they don't like it, and they've never been told, how do you fix this? Another thing that people might want to try is those breathe right strips. We've had decent success with that from time to time.
People, if there is nasal congestion, or if people have nasal polyps or chronic allergies, they're going to have congestion in the nasal passage, which can lead, of course, to airway obstruction and snoring, and then sleep apnea. Now, CPAPs are very, very, very essential if somebody has chronic sleep apnea. To get diagnosed with sleep apnea, of course, requires a sleep study, and there are more than one types of sleep apnea. Central apnea oftentimes is not just controlled with nasal strips, it's not controlled with weight loss, it's not controlled with nasal sprays and other things. We have to go on to a CPAP in order to keep the airway open with positive airway pressure so that we don't dilate the heart and cause other long-term physical problems.
No question, and we see people with the trouble breathing, trouble with snoring. We see them actually gain weight because they're producing a lot of cortisol at nighttime when they should be producing melatonin and sleeping. So it does disrupt sleep, and it can elevate blood pressure. And we've talked about this in previous shows about how some of the blood pressure medication can pull out nutrients as well, and that can become a secondary problem. So there's a lot to this. I think that if a person is out there and they're snoring, they need to know there's some positive steps they can go towards to get it remedied.
Well, and one of the most important things sleep apnea goes very underdiagnosed in women. And we have to think about hormones. When hormones change, the tissues and the strength and the viability of the tissues change and get softer and weaker, and therefore cannot hold the airway open. So having your hormones checked and balanced is very important to avoid snoring and the progression to sleep apnea.
So there you have it. All you ever want to know about snoring and more. It can be fixed. It can be corrected most times, and it certainly can be dealt with. Don't let it become a problem. Major problem. Don't let it keep you or your partner awake. We need our sleep. We'll do some more talks on sleep at some point, but certainly reach out to us if we can ever help you with any of this stuff, because it's second nature to us. And here's to a great night's sleep, absence snoring.
Want to biohack your skin? Let's talk about red light therapy.
Amazing healing capability it has. Don't miss it.
Our flagship product is called Kingdom Fuel. Tell us a little bit about Kingdom Fuel and why it's so good.
We saw people struggling with the idea and concept of it's too expensive to eat healthy. So we thought, okay, that's the problem. Let's find a solution. So we found a solution for $5 or under per meal, and that represented the birth of the idea of Kingdom Fuel. So Kingdom Fuel is organic pea protein. It's got greens and reds in it, so this is the phytonutrients from green plants and red plants that we all talk about. Eat your vegetables, right? It's also got vitamins and minerals in it, so it's got a complete complex of that. And it's got also soluble and insoluble fiber, which the difference between the two is profound. Soluble actually gathers moisture and makes you full, and the insoluble goes through the system and grabs things like damaged particles.
The body runs on nutrients, it doesn't run on medication. And Kingdom Fuel is a complete multivitamin and mineral.
Introducing OK Movie Stream, your ticket to a world of cinematic classics and wonders, right from the heart of Oklahoma and the surrounding areas.
The Neals are moving to Oklahoma.
Dive into a world of captivating stories and extraordinary talent, all on OK Movie Stream.
Oh yeah, I did. You see, I gave you a crazy look because I
choose the option that suits you best. Watch for free with commercials, binge watch your favorites for 3 days, or unlock ad-free streaming for just $10 a year. Join the OK Movie Stream community today and embark on a cinematic journey like never before.
Our Kingdom Candy with a K again. 2 flavors. We got salted caramel and peanut butter. These are great. I mean, they're
kind of like a complete meal.
Yeah, they're 200 calories. People want to know that all the time, and not that we're worried about calories, but these things have great ingredients. They're not sweetened with sugars. They don't have those false sugars or fake sugars, artificial
sugars. They've got fiber in them.
They do. It's interesting. Salted caramel crunch is our newest flavor. We'll come up with some other stuff at some point, but those can bridge the gap of that sweet tooth craving. They're sweetened with monk fruit, and that's really, if you know what that is, it's not going to raise blood sugar.
It's really only 2 grams of sugar. I refer to it as the sweet without the cheat.
Any of these things out here are designed to be money-saving, nutrition-giving, and life-enhancing, and this is a big deal. So you'll find out, like thousands of other people did, that these things will help you live healthy longer.
There are a lot of different ways that we can affect the human body and especially affect the resilience of our skin. And one of the very common things that's used today is red light therapy.
Yeah, it is. It's low-grade infrared light that is really applied to the skin. And the idea behind it is that sort of triggers, if you will, the mitochondria to flare up and generate these repair mechanisms it does. So it's actually quite ingenious. You can get little hand machines at home, and you can go to a professional place and get it done as well.
So in terms of helping the skin, it's going to improve the function of the mitochondria. If you have better energy production inside the cell, no matter what cell it is, you're of course going to have a better resilience.
Yep.
One of the skin cells that's very important for the production of collagen is the fibroblast, and it's thought that this red light therapy may actually stimulate the regeneration of the fibroblasts, which aid the production of collagen in the skin. And of course, collagen is that component of the skin that aids tensegrity. It kind of gives the skin the volume and the resilience and elasticity that, of course, we're looking for, that gives us the youthful appearance.
Yeah, it's fascinating. You know, I think when I think of the fibroblastic creation of collagen, I'm thinking about it like this. So, you know, you can see my hands right here in this. So if this is the fullness of the epidermis, or the outside layer of your skin, right? So this would be a flat skin with no wrinkles. When we lose collagen underneath that layer, the skin begins to collapse. That's a wrinkle. So the wrinkle is not really caused by the skin doing something wrong. It's the body of collagen underneath that's got less tight that's doing that. So the problem is with getting wrinkles is we don't get the collagen lifted in there. And so this could really be looked at as a way to sort of be a anti-wrinkle type of therapy, because it actually is regenerating that fibroblast or building activity of the collagen.
Now, it's basically, red light therapy is low-level wavelengths that are actually aiding this production or this healing process to occur.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the mitochondria, the little powerhouse of the cell that creates the energy of the cell. It's at the right frequency to get right down there and stimulate its action. So the mitochondria is really about making the cell do something. And without mitochondrial help or energy, the cell can't do anything. So the cells, in this case we're talking about skin cells, cannot be repaired. And that's interesting, because a lot of times people have used red light therapy for wound healing and scar improvement and things like that. And it really does work.
Yeah, so if it's improving the health of the cells of the skin, we could say, for example, it takes inflammation at the level of the skin down, decreasing swelling at the level of the skin, and perhaps maybe even increasing autoimmune conditions like psoriasis or even eczematous dermatitis of the skin, as we're using this form of phototherapy or red light therapy on the skin.
Yeah, as opposed to the people that have lived a few years, the red light district. We're not talking about that. You can't go down the red light district and hit your brakes. That's where people stop. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't. Look it up. Red light district. What does that mean? You'll get a good giggle out of it. But it's not the same thing as that. It's actually applying the phototherapy to these areas of the skin that have issues such as the psoriasis or the eczema, and the body will heal itself. Remember, if you can stimulate the body to do what it's supposed to do, and then it does what it's supposed to do, then you can see where it can provide its own healing regenerative properties, and that's what this is about.
Well, and it's got a lot of other names. You know, it's been around a long time. It was discovered long, long ago, and it's now being integrated into alternative healthcare clinics, such as cold laser therapy for soft tissue injuries or soft tissue regeneration, which is kind of the same thought process or science that just red light therapy for the skin is. It's also, called soft laser therapy or soft light therapy. So there's other names out there on the market, not just red light therapy, that are used for different types of conditions.
Well, and let's not forget, you have smooth skin on your face for a reason. You use the red light therapy on your face, don't you?
I absolutely do.
There you go.
Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention platelet-rich plasma. We do platelet-rich plasma in the office, where we simply draw off blood, double spin it down, get the platelet-rich growth factors off it, and just give it right back to you right in the skin of the face.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of modalities out here, and red light therapy being one of many that are sort of these modern day, um, I don't want to say anti-aging, but let's call it managing the biological aging process better. And ultimately, if we can sort of get a handle on this oxidative stress, this damage at the skin level, we can appear younger.
It's preservation.
Well, it's preservation of capital, right? The kind of thing. But if you look younger, and then you might feel younger and you might act younger, meaning you might want to move more and do more. So I think that the outward appearance is not just about vanity. No, it's actually about helping the inside of a person. So I'm all about this.
I am too. Like I said, red light therapy, platelet-rich plasma, any way we can go at biohacking the system so we can feel better longer.
Yeah, and by the way, what she was talking about with this platelet-rich plasma kind of concept of the face, that is called a vampire facial. Just think about that. But you can use red light therapy, vampire facials, and all this stuff to improve, and we highly recommend it. That's how my queen right here gets such healthy skin. Red light therapy every night. I see her doing it all the time, and it works. So there you go. Try it for yourself. Red light therapy might just be for you.
How can boosting your daily nutrition save you money? I'm Dr. Michele Sherwood.
And I'm Dr. Mark Sherwood. Kingdom Fuel costs about a third of the average lunch and will supersize your nutrition.
Our unique meal shakes are balanced, low glycemic, rich in fiber with 20 grams of clean protein, essential vitamins and minerals, healthy fats, and organic fruits and vegetables.
Kingdom Fuel is a simple start to a transformed life.